I'm Ryan Iverson, and this is the Investor Breakout Weekly Insight. Let's talk about what happened this week. Bitcoin's all over the place. Big liquidations hitting and gold's breaking records. What's driving all this? After briefly touching 118,000, it's now holding closer to 112,000. That's the push and pull of crypto. Long-term optimism is being powered by ETF inflows and anticipation of the next halving cycle. At the same time, short-term risks like heavy leverage, thin liquidity, and a still hawkish macro backdrop are keeping the market on edge. Meanwhile, gold's record surge shows some capital is still preferring safety. For crypto, that means Bitcoin's digital gold story is now competing head-to-head with the real thing. In the past 24 hours, we saw just how fragile sentiment can be. More than 1.5 billion in leverage positions were liquidated, sparking sharp intraday swings. Bitcoin briefly slipped under 112,000 before bouncing back, while Ethereum fell even harder. Crowded longs and shallow order books amplified every move. For investors, the takeaway is clear. In crypto, sentiment and leverage often drive short-term action more than fundamentals. Thin liquidity outside the top exchanges magnifies volatility, and one-sided positioning can flip fast. Still, the big picture hasn't cracked. Institutional flows remain strong, adoption narratives are intact, and Bitcoin supply dynamics continue to support long-term upside. But in the near term, crypto remains highly sensitive to both macro currents and its own structural stresses. On the positive side, some see the recent drop as a healthy correction or a washout of overconfidence, possibly setting the stage for a more stable consolidation. Historically, September hasn't been kind to Bitcoin. It's closed down in 9 of the past 12 years. Between pre-Q4 tax loss moves and typical seasonal swings, it's hard to tell if we're seeing an average September dip or the start of something bigger. What's your take? Average pullback or major shift? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Nvidia is making bold moves to secure its lead in the AI race, and investors are taking notice. The chip giant just announced a $5 billion investment in Intel, becoming one of the largest shareholders. This gives the struggling manufacturer a major boost. Intel shares jumped nearly 23% on the news, while Nvidia rose more than 3%. At the same time, Nvidia is committing up to $100 billion to OpenAI, providing funding and data center chips to power its next generation AI platform. These moves position Nvidia not just as a chip supplier, but as a strategic partner to 2 of the most influential players in tech. It gives Nvidia a direct stake in the companies shaping the AI market. For investors, this is about more than hardware. Nvidia is leveraging capital to strengthen relationships and expand its ecosystem. It also secures long-term growth opportunities. The Intel investment could open new markets for Nvidia chips. Meanwhile, the OpenAI tie-up ensures the company remains at the center of enterprise AI adoption. The strategy is clear. Use big targeted investments to reinforce market dominance and generate new revenue streams. It also keeps Nvidia indispensable to the AI economy. For shareholders, that makes Nvidia's moves in 2025 some of the most consequential in tech. How do we turn a day of investor meetings into market-moving insights? Well, it starts at the Investor Breakout Exchange, where qualified investors debate their top picks at CEM events. The Investor Breakout Exchange kicks off right after a full day of over 850 20-minute one-on-one meetings. We bring all the investors together to talk about the companies that grab their attention. Each investor ranks their top 5 picks and explains why they're watching them. We gather all that intel, analyze it, and produce the top 5 picks of the event, which we share in our newsletter. It's a fast, direct way to see which companies are turning heads and why. The power of the Investor Breakout is in distilling market sentiment and spawning opportunities you won't find anywhere else. In a room with over 50 investor perspectives, the insight is immediate, intense, and invaluable, whether you're there in person or reading the newsletter. This year, the Muskoka Capital event runs September 26th to 28th. Follow Investor Breakout to catch the top 5 picks being announced on October 2nd. I'm Ryan Iverson. We'll see you next week.